What is up, Wayward Guns fans? Geoffrey Curry tonight, as always, being joined by my friend Kate, the lovely co-host of this program. And I gotta say, for once, we're not as worried about people watching live because we are now getting the audio of these episodes uploaded immediately to Spotify. I believe we're on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts as well at this point. So yeah, we're getting out there. We're trying to build this. And as you can see on the bottom of the screen, we now have a Patreon too. That's a little surprise for Kate as well, because she did not know that I had that set up. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the movement?
I think that's pretty sweet. That's that'd be awesome. I mean, obviously we've been absent for a little bit here, guys. Sorry. Life's a kick in the nuts.
And that being said, we are seeing the back wall that apparently still needs some artwork on it of Kate's new apartment.
Yeah. Oh, it's very. The best thing that I have up so far is my little incense shelf over there. I just put.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got incense and it's holding my my sage, because I just saged the place like last week, because I'm telling you what, there was something in here.
Oh boy.
At 5 a.m. and I hear footsteps like where the basement, my part of the basement in this house is, and movement in a part of this, it's a house broken down into apartments, but the bottom's not finished and it's not supposed to be finished for a while, and I hear movement going on at 5 a.m.
That's funny. So do I at my house, but then again, that's because I have a tenant that lives in my basement.
We'll see. Yeah, there's nobody there yet. The place isn't ready. And then I go on my side of the building. Man, you should see like my basement though. It's like a fucking torture chamber.
And there's our one per episode.
Oh, yeah. It's like a torture chamber down there. There's like wood hanging, like I don't even know how to explain it. I have to just like show next time I'll show it on here. I don't feel like
okay.
Could you chill out?
Kate with the baby demon in her arms for this episode as usual.
Yep. We're tired already, but we're not gonna go to sleep. But yeah, I took Phoenix and Aquila down there because they were helping me while I was cleansing the apartment. And I mean, Aquila was like, bad vibes down here. I was like, yeah, right. And Phoenix was like, because we're going around, I was like, what is in here? What was in here by the wood and stuff that's up on the hanging from the ceiling? It looks like. And you know what Phoenix is? He's like, it's either death or sex. Yeah, your own.
So, two different kinds of kinky in that basement. Got it.
You right?
Either way.
Too.
Huh?
That's what he said too.
Anyways, I say we jump right into this one. As you see, as those of you watching on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook can see, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, we got advert for the new Patreon. Those of you listening at home via other podcasting platforms, you can follow us at patreon.com/waywardguns. We've got 4 different tiers of support on there. All 4 come with a monthly or with a quarterly loyalty bonus. Starting with the victim tier, which is the lowest, cheapest tier. That'll get you some stickers and mini prints of both Wayward Guns and Running Force Productions. Work your way up to the God tier, which is our highest tier, which this is the one that I might sign up for. I might sign up and be a patron of the show myself, because the first tier, you get a Wayward Guns printed coffee mug. After 6 months, it is a wall poster. After 9 months, a Wayward Guns t-shirt. And after a year at the as a God tier patron, you'll get a kick-ass jet black Wayward Guns hoodie.
Nice.
Or on second thought, it might not be black, it might be charcoal. Either way.
Either or, it's dark.
Either way. Definitely look us up. We've also got some extra rewards on there, like the ability to I'm gonna have to get Kate logged into our Patreon as well as myself so that she can help run it, but ability to DM us, full access to our library on Patreon. It's going to be great. But without further ado, we're going to jump into this 6th episode of season 1. No,
I was going to say,
we covered that a month ago. before moving day came around.
Yep. Moving day, me getting pulled over for registration and losing my car for a little bit.
Yeah, I got pulled over for registration too. Luckily, it was the very day I was planning on getting mine taken care of. And they gave me
everybody on here, get your registration taken care of. Don't be me.
No, I was literally on my way to the courthouse to pay my freaking vehicle taxes, and then on my way to the DMV to get it paid. Like literally that day. I was on my way to the courthouse to get it taken care of when I got popped.
No, I was literally right up the street from my apartment. I was trying to drive safely because I've been kind of on a suspension. Kids, don't.
Luckily, with my situation, when I explained that I was on my way to deal with it right then and as they pulled me over, they took my info and had the citation written and gave me the out of look. We go off beat at this time. Come to the station with your registration before that time, and we'll rip this up. Well, guess what? It got ripped up.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna dive into the 6th episode of season 1 Supernatural, titled Skin. It debuted on the WB October 18th, 2005. Which, by the way, it feels so weird saying WB in 2022.
WB.
This episode directed by Robert Duncan McNeil. Written by Eric Kripke and John Shiban. Story edited by Sarah Gamble. And it stars, as always, Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles as Sam and Dean Winchester, respectively. Amy Grabow as a guest star, playing Rebecca Warren. Peter Shinkota as Alex. Merritt Green as the Anchorman. Anita Brown as Lindsay. Shireen Haas as a bystander. And Alex Holtz as Zach Warren. And right off the bat, when this episode started playing, the very first thing to talk about in this episode, because it's the very first thing you notice in this episode, Inagata Devita by Iron Butterfly starts playing as we go through a house in St. Louis, Missouri. Girl is tied to a chair. She's bloodied. There's somebody in the house opposite her with a knife. You can see cuts to outside. SWAT's getting ready to bust in. They catch him as she's trying to escape the back door. And when they tell him to freeze, he turns around and holy shit, it's Dean. As I'm sitting there and making the realization that, wait a minute, what the hell is Dean doing with a knife trying to slice this chick up? Mm-hmm. It's when it sunk in what song was playing, Inagata Devita, which is generally viewed as a trippy, creepy song. And believe me, when I saw that it was Dean with the knife, I thought I was tripping. So it fit. It then jumps to a week earlier. The boys are on the road. Sam is on his BlackBerry.
God, yeah, right.
Really dating the episode, checking his college emails.
BlackBerry. Woo!
Gets one from a friend of his, a Rebecca Warren, who's letting him know that her brother has been arrested for murdering his girlfriend, Zach being her brother. But there's no way it was him because If so, he was in two places at one because he was drinking with her until after midnight, the night that her being Zach was drinking with Rebecca until after midnight, the night that this murder went down. But security footage has him at his girlfriend's house at 10:30. Can't be in two places at once. So that's what has Sam thinking we need to look at this. Dean's hesitant, but whatever. Sam gets his way.
Yeah.
They get there. They're talking to Rebecca, and Sam tells her that Dean is a cop, which leads to a great "what the fuck" look from Dean. Oh crap! Sorry. Well, there's my one for episode. But Sam gives him a look like, "What the hell, dude?"
Yeah.
But Sam tells her that Dean's a cop as to his way of convincing her to take them to Zach's house so that they can look at the crime scene. They notice that there's no sign of a break-in, but there had been a break-in reported a week prior, and nothing was missing except some of Zach's clothes.
Yeah.
They also note that the dog next door's been going psycho ever since the murder happened. It cuts to a shot of Zach outside of an office building. Now, the noticeable thing about this image, though, is his eyes. They have a nice, weirdly white reflective almost.
Yeah, white, yellow reflect.
Which, for those of you watching on the live stream, unfortunately, I could not figure out a way to get an image of this to save to put on here. So just type on a Google search supernatural skin and scroll down. You'll see some images of Dean and whatnot with white eyes. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I was about to say there should be a picture of.
Yes, however, the formatting of the pictures that I was able to find online, I could not get them to plug in here as an overlay. So the boys then check Zach's house again. Or I'm sorry. They see Zach outside of an office building with weird eyes. Sam sees the same thing in the playback on the security footage. A guy comes out of the office building getting ready to go home to find his girl tied to a chair and bloody. And she's saying, "Please don't hurt me anymore," like she thinks he did it. He starts searching through the house and is attacked by another version of himself with the same weird eyes that we noticed from Zach on the corner. The boys go back to check Zach's house crime scene for a trail because they say that when the police showed up, nobody left. So they're trying to figure out where the actual killer could have went. Sorry, I keep losing my spot on here. When emergency services arrive for a second victim down the street, this is when they realize it's a shapeshifter. And both trails end right outside in the same alley where it just dries up. They can't figure out where it's at until I believe it was Sam notices a manhole cover.
No. Well, Sam was like, in any of the lore, do plot. Which Dean was like, no. But then he spotted out. He was like, I think he said something about, but maybe they went down, and that's why they went into the sewer.
Yes, that was it. So they climb down to check the sewer. They find shed skin in the sewer. This is when they find out that the thing sheds when it changes. Dean points out that from his research, silver bullets kill skinwalkers. They then go load up and back to the sewer. They find the creature, which in turn attacks Dean and runs. They split up to chase it, and next thing you see, the creature is now disguised as Dean. It meets up with Sam. Sam realizes it's not him, gets knocked out and tied up. Apparently, the creature has Dean's memories.
Yes. They figure out and learn with this skinwalker. It doesn't just look like you. It they basically like download, in a sense, download memories. They yeah, that's the best way I could say it. Download memories of, who you are, your family, whatever.
Okay. Anyways, the creature then goes to Rebecca's house. You cut down to see that Dean is also tied up in the sewer, about 10 yards behind where Sam is. It cuts back to the creature sitting talking with Rebecca. Says it used to be human, but it mutated. Dean in the sewers makes a great Star Trek reference, saying that the fact that it's getting his memories is like a Vulcan mind meld.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Sam goes further and explains, yeah, it pretty much not only becoming you physically, but it's downloading your memories to become you. Anyways, the creature then ties up and attacks Rebecca. The police show up. It attacks the police and runs, which is where you realize that this is where the episode began with the cold open. Now, he's running from the cops and gets shot, which, by the way, the song that they choose to play as it's making this escape is freaking priceless, because as the cop manages to catch him in the shoulder with a bullet, the filter song, "Hey Man, Nice Shot" is playing.
Yeah, that's not.
That was great.
I can't remember what song. I looked it up too, and I knew the song that they play on Netflix version. I can't remember though.
Well, we only got about another 18 episodes or so, I would hope, before we're seeing the same music.
Okay.
I hope it's season 2 that they get it right. It might not be until season 3.
One of the two, yeah.
But once we get to an episode where you're like, hey, yeah, that's what I heard too, then we'll know we're good. Anyways, it cuts back to the sewer where the creature decides to shed again, and oh boy, this was a creepy imagery. I actually have a picture of that, but it decides to shed again, and it's yeah.
When you're saying like shed skin, like for real, it's like all the skin, not one layer of skin. It's all the skin coming off. Mutate.
Yeah, like when I'm saying it sheds, I'm not talking like your dog will shed hair. I'm talking like a snake when it is ready, when it outgrows its scales and sheds to a new coat. All right. So,
I mean, it looks like that in the picture a little bit, but no, it's ripping the whole entire skin.
anyways, the boys are out of the sewer and trying to figure out their next step. They're actually working their way to Rebecca's to get to the car where, with that awesome trunk full of weaponry. When they see a TV in an old electronics store, which, by the way, I've only ever seen these types of stores in TV shows. Right. But they see the TV in the window, and it's a police advertising a manhunt for Dean. They go to Rebecca's to get the car. Well, while they're about to get to it, the cops arrive. Sam decides to play decoy so that Dean can get away, because God knows they're looking at Dean for murder. Well, Sam gets arrested. Dean gets to the trunk, gets a gun out of the trunk, and goes back to the sewer. Finds Rebecca all tied up. Sam somehow escapes the police.
They couldn't hold him for.
Oh yeah, they have nothing to hold him with, so they let him go. He goes to Rebecca's. The Rebecca comes up and hits him with a beer bottle. You realize that the creature has now taken Rebecca's form. After she knocks Sam out with the beer bottle, she turns back into Dean. Well, Sam wasn't actually knocked out. There's a big fight between Dean and Sam, which originally I'm seeing on Wikipedia, or not on Wikipedia, but on IMDb. At this point in the episode, they had originally had it set to play Poison Whiskey by Leonard Skinner. They ended up changing that to a song called "Good Deal," written by Mommy and Dad, or performed by Mommy and Daddy. But whatever. Dean shows up and kills the creature. Then you get your obligatory unwind with the victim to let the victim like say that I'm good now and calm down before the boys drive away. And as they're driving away in this episode, the exit music was All Right Now by Free. And that's the episode summary of it. Also gave music analysis as we went through, so that's covered.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll turn it over to you, Kate.
Okay.
What did I just do to my? What'd
you do?
There we go. I somehow I zoomed in on my screen. We're good. like it wasn't. I hit full screen on the broadcast window. I actually like zoomed in on a quarter of the screen and had to figure out how to zoom back out. But we're good. Anyways, this is where I'll turn it over to you to tell us some mythology behind skinwalkers and their back lore.
Yeah, so like the lore of a skinwalker basically comes out from it says the Navajo culture is the biggest for the lore and stories. Says skinwalker, a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into possess or disguise themselves as an animal. Most of the skinwalker stuff that are going to go off of here is the background is more like animals you turn into, like hence once we get to the werewolves and that
Spoiler alert.
I mean, hey, Dean says it too in that past episode. They're like, something about skinwalkers, and they're like, yeah, they can shape, forms. Yeah, like a werewolf, and I can't remember what the other one was. Skinwalk, because they're skinwalkers. Anyways, but yeah, most of the skinwalker stuff that I found, lore wise, talks more about the creatures being like people, the animals, the stories. I do remember, because I'm not going to look it up and try and get on this. The other thing that I did see about skinwalkers, that like some lore, and from other cultures, is them talking about gods turning into animals for this and that. I think it was like which one? Zeus, Greek? No. Wait, yeah. Zeus is Greek, right?
Yes. The equivalent to Zeus in Roman mythology would be Jupiter.
Okay. Yeah, so they played it back between all the religions, and it was interesting. A lot of the different stories that I read talking more about gods and demigods, and just the stories like just blow my mind. Hi, Glenn.
What's up? We got a Facebook comment here. Glenn Stockhausen saying, "Good evening, guys." What's up, Glenn? How you been, buddy?
But yeah, it goes into like the gods being able to change shifts, and that's how they would trick their humans and their worshippers. I think they go into even the story of Medusa. That is a potential skinwalker or whatnot, or shapeshifter. Sorry, shapeshifter. Well, they're all the same. Jesus Christ.
Wait,
yeah.
He was a skinwalker?
No.
I was about to say, I don't remember that being in the Bible.
no. Sorry, I looked up the wrong thing. Ah, Jesus. Hello. Hi. Benedict Cumberbatch. This is. Are you really gonna try and get up? Excuse you.
Glenn piping back, replying to us saying he's doing all right. Thanks. No problem, buddy. Glad to see you tuning in. And guys, don't worry. Kate is not multitasking by trying to game while doing this, but she doesn't have her computer with her yet. So she's using her PS4 as a web browser to do her research.
I mean, it might be that I just do this.
And I will say that's some creative dedication to the art.
We haven't done our shows in a while, so I gotta go. Ew. Ow. Bro, look at you taking up like almost the whole camera. Handsome man. Show them how handsome you are. Okay, that's better. Okay. Yeah, it delves more into mythology. It's really small print, so. So mythology, folklore, shapeshifting is the ability to physically transform oneself through an inherited superhuman ability, divine intervention, demonic manipulation, sorcery, spells, and having enhanced the ability, basically. The idea of shapeshifting is in the oldest form of totemism and shamanism, as well as the oldest existent literature and epic poems, such as the epic of oh god, I can't even say that, and the Iliad, which everybody should know the Iliad if you went to school. I think everybody in high school goes through that.
Never heard of it.
What?
Never heard of it.
The Iliad, like Greek, it's a story that usually you go through in English class. Like,
I'm just busting your balls. We're good.
Oh, okay. Christ, that's like I think every school does it. Man, Stephen Strange, I need you to calm down. This is
hey, where are you getting your info from tonight, Kate?
Wikipedia.
Of course.
So yeah, the shape-shifting goes more into no cat and to more like the gods abilities, and demonic manipulation is definitely one, because they say demons can take different forms, all that kind of stuff. Oh my god, Benedict, you are like picking the worst time to want attention. Popular shape-shifting creatures in folklore are werewolves and vampires, mostly of European. Ow! Damn, cat! Canadian and Native American, early American origin. I can't read that. Something Indian. Then yeah, the gods, goddesses, and demons and demonesses like succubus, incubus, and other numerous mythologists, such as the Norse Loki. Loki's a big one. We all know that. Or the Greek. I don't butcher this. Proteus. Proteus.
Proteus.
Yes. Yeah. Shape-shifting the form of a gray wolf is specifically known as
lycanthropy.
Yeah, lycanthropy. I can't even talk anymore. Yeah. So that goes more into like werewolf, skinwalker.
Okay. Oh wait, Kate is back. Okay.
Sorry, my dad was trying to call me.
Sorry, Pops. We're gonna have to hit the FU button on you for now.
I know, I really did. I was like, oh, he's probably gonna be like, well, shit. But yeah, it's also comfort deities to transform mortals into animals, plants. Yeah, see, okay, so that's why I got mixed up when I put Skinwalker. Shapeshifters are Navajos. Their word for them is Skinwalker. So it's very. Why am I getting a voicemail from Westview? My phone's on crack.
Much like its user.
Shh.
I'm joking. I kid.
Mimic and
At least not this week.
it's such small writing, it's hard for me to read this, but yeah. There are numerous stories about the animals that can yeah, okay. So yeah, there's Greek, Roman. It goes into all kinds of different story. I mean, Odyssey. The Odyssey's, big thing. Like many of the creatures they talk about are
Bob Cummins. The same guy who on the last episode was why am I still here? Popping in saying, don't worry, I'm here. Bob, would love for you in the comments to let us know how your Christmas event went, because I know we hyped that up back on around Thanksgiving.
Oh my God. Here's just one story that I know I did read. Okay, so it's just one of the Greek stories. That's when I said Zeus. The Oceanid Metis, I think I said that right, hopefully. The first wife of Zeus and the mother of the goddess Athena. This is just one story and variation of, the couple Zeus and who Athena's god is. I mean, I know there's different variations, but was believed to be able to change her appearance into anything she wanted. In one story, she was so proud that Zeus tricked her into changing into a fly. He then swallowed her because he feared that he and Metis would have a son who would be more powerful than Zeus. Because she got pregnant. She was pregnant. He didn't know that. So, but he swallowed her as she had turned into a fly. It's an interesting story. So, Metis, however, was already pregnant. She stayed alive inside his head and built armor for her daughter. The banging of her metalworking made Zeus have a headache. So, Hephaestus. Oh my God.
Hephaestus?
Yes. Cloved his head with an axe. Athena springs from her father's head, fully grown and in battle armor. Bang, Athena. So, I mean, these crazy stories get crazy with shapeshifting. So, I could keep going on and on and on. There's just different ones. Zeus. A lot of ones are Zeus, Ares, Demeter. Yes, I said that. Demeter. Athena herself, Artemis, Atlanta, King Tereus, Callisto. Callisto's the big one. I should have seen that one. Jesus. But yeah, it just goes on and on and on. And the part where I thought it was the Navajo, they call them skinwalkers more. But you'll see down the line here in many of these episodes is that Supernatural puts them in their own category. So
yes. Now my take on it, since I'm the finding a nice connection in other media, at least that's my forte. In other media, I'm just gonna throw a picture up for a second here, because y'all be wondering like what the hell until I explain. Kate, you want to tell them what's on screen?
I mean, Jesus, Raven, or she was called Mystique.
Yes, we're talking about a character from Marvel Comics, specifically the X-Men franchise. or
She
the X-Men line of comics, brought to life on screen by Rebecca Romaine during the original X-Men theatrical trilogy, and then by Jennifer Lawrence in the I don't know whether you want to call it the prequel trilogy or the future past trilogy, what have you, but played in X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men or Mutants Unite, and in X-Men 3 The Last Stand, played by Rebecca Romaine, and in X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, and I believe in X-Men Dark Phoenix, played by Jennifer Lawrence.
yeah.
Now, why am I making a tie to the X-Men here? Because of her ability.
Comic.
Yes, she's technically a mutant and not just a skinwalker, but her ability in the comics is anybody that she's come in contact with, she is able to take on their appearance. And in certain continuations, we're just as an extra aside, in certain continuations of the X-Men, Mystique can also take on their abilities after coming in contact with them. But I figure because of the link that in the episode here, the Skinwalker that we saw was looking for companionship, looking for a bond, and that's why he was changing into other people. But then after, whether he screwed something up or they caught on to him that he wasn't their right man or what's going on, well, he ended up turning around and killing them. And Mystique's big thing is because of the persecution that mutants have had. Her big thing is turning into other people just so she can kill other people. So I figured it was appropriate.
Yeah. It's like kill trick. I mean, she is good at first. Well, I mean, I guess from the movies.
If you follow the Days of Future Past or First Class story movie arcs, yes. Certain continuations in the comics, she is more of an anti-hero. But in the majority of them, no, she's just straight up evil.
Yeah.
If those of you listening, if you think that was an out there link for a Skinwalker, yes, that was somewhat by design, because I have a feeling we're going to be revisiting Skinwalkers as the show progresses, and I want to save some better ones for later.
Yes.
Okay. Move on to this category. The Skirt Magnet Scorecard. And over the first 5 episodes, they left us with a score of Sam 2, Dean 1, and a score of 2 for the No Skirts category. Now, this could go either of two ways, because ultimately neither one of them does get with the girl, but I kind of want to give this point to Dean, because while the Skinwalker was in Dean's body or in Dean's form, it did look like he and Rebecca were on the verge of something heating up. So I kind of want to give that a point to Dean. What are your thoughts on that, Kate?
I say no skirt. Just because she was just being the Dean. Well, right? Because more he got talking, like, I guess, personal and needing affection kind of thing, she got uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, because it was the Skinwalker and not Dean. But when she thought it was Dean and there had been nothing to signify otherwise, she did seem like she was kind of feeling him.
Yeah, I didn't think so, really. I thought that she was just being nice.
All right, fine then. You've convinced me. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Hold on a second. I'll fix that in a minute. So we're going to bring it up to a score of 2 skirts for Sam, 1 for Dean, and 3 for neither. Did you? Go ahead.
It's going to be fluctuating all over the place.
Especially when Bobby comes in and starts owning the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
right.
It's hit or miss with that one, but
Did you have a particular favorite scene in this episode?
honestly, I do. It's not like sentimental, nothing. This is whenever you see the skinwalker changing, and it was just so cool, just seeing the teeth fall out and everything. I was like, yeah.
Okay. I'd have to say mine in this episode was actually on at the back of the Impala when they're going for weaponry, and the interaction back and forth between Sam and Skinwalker Dean, with Sam being like pretty much calling him on his bullshit, saying, "I know you're not my brother."
Yeah.
Showing the bond that the two have, that Sam would be able to recognize that it's not his brother.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I'm noticing a trend. You're more into the visually impressive scenes as your favorite, and I'm more into the I'm noticing I tend to be more into the character scenes.
No, not necessarily. I can't remember which the last one what I was, but or what was the last one? It was Bloody.
I
No.
I know the only time that we've agreed so far out of 6 episodes was on, what was the episode title? The one with the boy in the lake. Because we agreed that Dean's scenes with Lucas were both of our favorites.
Yeah.
Now,
I can't.
Bob did reply. He said his Christmas event went great. He had 80 families the first day and around 200 the second day. He's got an event planned for Easter coming up March 18th and 19th. We will definitely have more details for you on the show as we get them. Thanks for mentioning us. Of course. Those of you that are just tuning in, Bob is a former coworker of mine that runs Geary Farm in Washington County, Pennsylvania, and they do a bunch of seasonal events for the kids. I took my niece and nephew to the Christmas event last year, and it was great. Anyways, we got a couple more sections to cover here. The 7 Circle of Hell rating scale for this, where the first through third are the weakest episodes. The 4th circle is a neutral episode, and 5, 6, and 7 are strong, great episodes. Based on how likely we are to use this episode to try and get new fans of the show, to get people to become new fans of the show. And honestly, this one was pretty solid to me. I would say I'd have to put this one on the low side of the 6th circle.
Oh man, this one.
Like, it had the creepiness factor, it had the action, it had the great scenes between Sam and Dean, added to the brother bond and got you more invested in what's going on their adventure. I'm putting this as a solid episode.
Okay. I think. Honestly. Hey, shithead, where'd you go?
What did you say? I heard honestly, but you kind of cut out.
What is? Oh, I said. I have to go 5. I think.
So good, but not anything extra special. Okay.
Yeah, for me at least.
When we get towards the end of the first season, I'm gonna have to go back and replay these and try to get our average scores up.
Yeah. I need to be like not super excited because I mean things just get better. And yeah, so I watched it 1,000 times. So I'm like, well, I know this episode's and those episodes, they're gonna blow these ones out of the water.
Which is why this is an interesting dynamic here with Kate having seen the entire series at some point and this being a rewatch for her and me. I've never watched it before in my life.
Like a 20,000 time rewatch.
Like I've watched, it's been so long ago that I watched like the first 3 seasons that I don't even remember any of these episodes. So that, well, there's also been a couple more concussions involved in between times. So,
well, there you go.
But anyways, excited that now that you're settled in, we can get this going on a weekly basis, especially now that we got things going on like Patreon, where we're going to need a certain level of weekly updates to make it worth it for our patrons to subscribe. Subscribe. I believe our higher scale patrons, definitely another thing I forgot to mention, sign up as a patron and you will be getting shout outs in our weekly episodes for the upper tiers.
You. Hey. Come here.
So look forward to that. And I look forward to continuing this. We'll be back sometime between next Tuesday and Wednesday with the 7th episode. And
don't you dare.
It's time to get the momentum rolling. What do you think? Now I can't tell if Kate is yelling at the child or the cat.
The fucking cat, man.
And that's 3 per episode.
Oh, sorry.
Thank God when I throw this on across Anchor, I definitely give it the explicit tag.
Yes. There's just little slips. I'm still working on things and like getting to like. I'll just show you guys a little bit real quick. But like there's still a lot that I need to work on. Fuck. I do have a baby gate finally around the TV. So she tried to get on my PlayStation, everything. So there's a baby gate. Now I'm talking too loud.
Okay, but anyways, let's get the banners pulled down so that they can actually see our tags. Make sure you're following us on Facebook or Running Force Productions. You can follow us each individually on Twitter. Me at TJE Joker. That's TJEGEOCUR. You can follow Kate at Chaylee Carl. That's CHAILEEKARL. Follow the show on Twitter as a whole at Wayward Guns. Make sure you're following us on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and follow us there. Running Force Productions. It's going to be that logo that's in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You see that logo? It's the right channel. Subscribe. And as you've seen the whole episode across the bottom of the screen, if you really want to help us out, you can subscribe to our new Patreon. That's going to be patreon.com/waywardguns. As I said before, 4 patron loyalty tiers that'll get you all varying types of swag. So it's definitely our way of saying thank you. Otherwise, we'll catch you back, guys, next week. This is Geoffrey.
And Kate. And baby.
Signing. And baby demon Vivi.
And the
signing
cat.
off. Kate, stay on the line because I got something I got to discuss with you afterwards.
Okay.